Hello everyone! Today we are going to be discussing everything to do with the Feast-Ember event and every bit of content you guys can expect during Feast-Ember. First up we have Rare Kana, our final rare fire elemental to release. We will be seeing them in Feast-Ember, I do think, as it will be very befitting. It's Firehaven's event where all the fire elementals were discovered, excluding the Kana who's on Tribal Island. And it would be very fitting having it during that time, a time which marks the anniversary of Firehaven when all the fire elementals were discovered. Not only that too, but it ties in with the fire element itself, the event, doesn't it? As Gobligod is on all the fire islands, and not only that, it's just such a good time now because we've had all the rare fire elementals and it will mark the conclusion of the rare fire elementals so well, so I have no doubt that Rare Kana will be releasing during Feast-Ember. They will be releasing on a whopping 6 islands, including all the magical islands and the 2 fire islands too, and they will have a unique breeding combination on each one, making them pretty hard to breed. So if you're looking towards breeding Rare Kana on everyone, I would suggest for you guys to be alert during the event and to take caution, making sure that you are ready to breed Rare Kana once they arrive in game, because it's going to be rather hard to breed them. Not only will we have to find out all the breeding combinations, which I have no doubt the community will do really well as they do always, but you guys will also have the opportunity to breed them on 6 islands, making them pretty elusive to get if you're wishing to get them on all 6. It does feel like we've been waiting for Rare Kana for ages now, because I previously speculated in another video that Rare Kana would release before Light Island, because I didn't know we would be getting Light Island so soon. I didn't think we would be getting a new magical island for God knows when, but then the new magical island came and then we got Rare Sousa, and now we've just been in limbo for a while waiting for Rare Kana, and I do think we are going to see them in the event like I mentioned, and it will be nice to see the rare fire elementals conclude and see them all together. It's going to be really nice to just see what's next too. We will also see the Light Island quad element release and Light Island's finale. It's been a good time over the past few weeks when we've been getting a new light monster every single week, but unfortunately that time is coming to an end now, as the final one will be releasing, as I've said, it's the quad one on Wednesday this week when the Feast-Ember event begins, assuming that the date is similar to last year when the Feast-Ember event did begin. I do think it's likely to be rainbow coloured. If you look at the element itself and the teaser we received for Fiddlement, all the colours represent an individual monster, yet there isn't one for the 8th monster, the quad monster, so that suggests that it will have every single colour, which is exciting, and I think it will make out to be a really cool monster. Depending on how they use the colours and stuff, I think it could turn out really cool. I really hope that it's going to fill in the beginning and ending parts of the song. I know lots of people in the comments have been going on about that quite a bit, suggesting that those parts could be a little better, and I do agree, and I do hope that the quad monster does fill in those bits, hopefully, but once again we'll have to wait and see on that one. The light element's colours will change potentially too within the teaser for Fiddlement. We also did get a look at the light element and the colours which represent each monster inside of the element, suggesting that at the end of Light Island we will see those colours become the element itself. I really hope this happens. I think that that would be a really good way to end it, like I mentioned before, and just seeing it all come together in that way would be so nice. I really do hope that that happens. Having something like that too would be a way to end the island in a similar way to Psychic Island too. I really like the eyes opening up and everything like opening up on Psychic Island, and the design of the actual island changing once all the psychic monsters were released, and seeing something like that with Light Island and the Light Island element would be a really cool idea, I do think. Next up we have Rare Gobligod. I think this is something that we are going to see inside of the event. It is unknown whether we will, of course, because Gobligod is a new seasonal monster and we've never had a new seasonal event before since the game's original release. I'm not sure how it's going to go with Rare Gobligod, but I do think we will be seeing it sometime. It's just a question of when, and now is as good of a time as ever. If it comes out now, it'll be able to come out in more frequent releases, and also lots of people are anticipating it, and it would be odd not to, so that does suggest that it will be pretty likely during the event to release. I do think we are going going to be seeing an update during the event too. The stuff which we've been over is just stuff that's added to the game itself. I think we will be seeing an update too. I know we have just had the Colosseum and Light Island will have just finished too, as the Feast-Ember update does roll out if we do get one. So it could go either way. We could get one, we could not. I do think we are going to see something, and I do think we are going to get an update. I do think that it's just going to be minor though, and it's not going to be a game changing like Light Island or Bone Island. So now let's lay out all the possibilities for everything that could be in the update, according to what I think. The first thing that could be in the update is natural rares coming to Psychic Island. I think we'll be seeing them release the natural rares on each magical island individually, just like they did for Firehaven and Fire Oasis. Otherwise, it would be a little breathtaking having so many rare monsters release or at once if they were to release on literally every single magical island, and just dropping them one at a time is the best option, I do think. And whilst Light Island has just released, I do think it's more likely for them to come to Psychic Island. I think they'll follow through with the original islands as actual release for the natural rares and updates we see to the magical islands. Because of Light Island only just having released and Psychic Island being older and not being updated in a long time, it does make it more likely that that will be updated beforehand. I think we will see the Dipsters potentially come to Psychic Island along with the natural rares too. I think it's going to follow through that we'll see those be released alongside the natural rares. And last year we saw Firehaven Dipsters released during Feast-Ember 2, so it would make sense in a way to release them for Psychic Island this year too, because last year we saw the Dipsters then. They could add seasonal decorations too inside of the update. I personally feel like this may not be the year that we particularly see those. I don't know why, but it just feels like we won't be seeing that this year, and that it may be at a later date that we do see these. I do think they're going to come eventually, but like I've said, because Feast-Ember is the first seasonal event to come throughout the game's lifespan, it's really a different thing entirely to the original seasonal events, and it's hard to predict what is going to happen here. If they did add them now though, it would make sense, because then they could be released more frequently, these decorations, rather than being saved for later. It gives more people an opportunity to actually buy them, so it would make sense for them to release this year. We could see the Star Rocks too start to release for the magical islands. We got them for Firehaven and Fire Oasis, so I don't think it would be too much of a stretch to say, oh, those Star Rocks will probably tie into the Dipster and natural rares updates as those release for each magical island too. And finally guys, something that I don't feel like is quite likely, but I'm just going to put it out there anyway because the rares have concluded now, so I don't see a point in holding it back. I think we may see island skins resume once again. We've not got one now in a long time now, since earlier in the year, which is weird because it feels like they didn't end too long ago. But anyway, they haven't released in a while, so I do think they are going to resume sometime soon, and they do seem to like bringing them out once all the epics / rares for that individual island have finished. So now that the rare fire elementals have released on Firehaven, maybe it will be a good time to. As for my release predictions then, I think Wednesday this week we will see the update, the final quad monster, and the Feast-Ember event begin. Like I've mentioned already, I don't know if the update is going to be an actual thing that happens. I know that we're going to see the Feast-Ember event begin this week, presuming the dates are similar to when the event began last year, but I don't know about the updates. We know that the final quad monster is 100% coming, but when the Feast-Ember comes, whether an update will come as well is out in the open. Then either the Friday following that, but that would lead to a lot of content, so who knows what's going to happen with the release. Like I've said guys, this is just my predictions, but I think maybe we could see Rare Gobligord the Friday after, because that would give more of an opportunity for Rare Gobligord to release. If they don't do that, then that would mean that people wouldn't have much chance to breed Rare Gobligord. They do seem to like, with rare seasonals, bringing them out and bringing them in-game rather frequently, rather than just leaving them for a week in-game or whatever. So to give an opportunity opportunity for that, I do think we will be seeing Rare Gobbly God come earlier rather than later, which could mean they could release on the Friday rather than the Wednesday after. And then after that Wednesday, on the next Wednesday, we will see Rare Kana, I do think. I think Rare Kana isn't as much of a priority as I've mentioned over Rare Gobbly God just because of the rare seasonals and how they're released. So therefore it would make sense for Rare Kana to be released last out of the event, as the event does last 2 weeks. I think that would all fit together quite nicely, and I do think that is how content is going to be dropped during the Feast-Ember event. And that is every single bit of content I think is going to release during the Feast-Ember event this year. We'll have to wait and see what is in store for us exactly though. Who knows what is lurking out there in the monster world left for us to explore. I'm excited to see what's coming, guys, but that is my predictions. Let's hope that the date for the Feast-Ember event may be different. We may even be waiting another week depending on what they want to do exactly. The Feast-Ember event is so new, who knows what they're going to do with the date, honestly. They could change it around and swap it for next week. I think Thanksgiving in America, forgive me because it's not an event over here, but I think it happens on the 27th of November this year, so if it does, they could hold it until next week. I don't think they will do that, but they could always do that. It's a new event, they can change it around as they will, and we don't know the facts behind it quite as much as every other seasonal event because we've had those for years. We've only had Feast-Ember once, so we will have to wait and see what happens. I hope you enjoyed this. I really enjoyed putting this together. As always, videos are always a blast to put together, guys, and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen during the Feast-Ember event with you all. For now though, guys, I will see you later. Bye, guys.